Good evening, everybody. Okay, just to show how Jira is actually working. We have a roadmap that is our time board, and here we can see um, what the plan is for the whole semester. And I have put it up so it's actually going from week to week. It's after our meetings, and then we can see the hand-in deadline. That's the yellow ones, and we can see where they should begin and where they should end. So the normal way I have put it up is so we have a beginning meeting where we actually putting out the task, and then we have a meeting the week afterwards where we actually going through all the tasks we have shared out for the hand in, and then we have a little buffer before the deadline of the hand in if we need to make some changes and somebody couldn't make the task, which they hopefully could. But we can see all the hand-ins for the whole semester and all the way out to the end. So it should be pretty easy to go through. And also, if you want to see the previous task for everything, then you can also see it on the roadmap board. It can be a little bit confusing sometimes to look at, but that is also a burnout chart. The second one is the backlog, and inside the backlog, that is where we will go through all the tasks and also where we can see all the previous tasks. So right now I have activated the Epic board. If you don't have it, then you can go up to Epic and show Epic panel, and then you will get it on the side. The way this one works, if you don't want to see all the other tasks that is not for a hand-in, then you can, if you only want to see the things for hand-in one, then you can type the hand-in one and then it will filter everything away from it so you don't see all the other tasks. But right now I'll put the task out, but I just like to have the board on the side. One decision I have made is we are not using the board of one good reason, because we are not working after normal sprints and after normal scrum. We are just using it for actually having a task board. And the reason I'm keeping it on the backlog is so we actually have an overview of everything. So please fucking don't touch the start sprint button. Then I will be a little bit annoyed. Not only a little bit, but actually very annoyed. So don't fucking start the sprint. Okay, you can see all the previous tasks, and you can see what the status is out here. You can also change the status if it normally it will be in to do when it's not started. Then you will set it in progress when you are working on it, and then to review when you are done with your task. Then on the meetings, we will put it to done when we all have actually looked it through and is giving a thumb up that it was fine enough. The way you are creating your own task. Oh, one thing you can see out on the side. If it's unassigned, then it's for the whole group, and if it's assigned to someone, then it's of course to that person. If we're trying to go under a task, then I have also made a co-ops. So if we have somebody that's actually working together, example ABJ and Axel here, then you will set the other person to the co-op, so we can see which one is actually working on this task. I'll put the task and story and box into three categories, and normally you will use it otherwise in Scrum setup, but for this project, if it's something we really need to look through and it's something for a hand-in, then I'll put it as a bug. If it's something we need to take care of on a meeting, then I set it to a story. Yeah, and that looks like this, and that the red one was a bug. So green for story, red for bug, and the blue one is a task. And the task, if it's something you need to make as a homework before the next meeting. So if we are taking one example, that is from for the next week, then we just passed through. It was, which week is it today? Oh, you can also see the date on the side of everything. It's the 3rd of March. Yeah, because it just went over midnight. Then you can see we have this week, and then the task for the next week you need to make before the next meeting is on the next meeting. So you can see they are as a to-do task. And one thing, if you have a task, an example, if we are taking the big one from hand in two and the system requirements, where there is both MBJ, Casper, and Victor working on the task, then we also have something called subtask. And the subtask would example be if you have something under a task you need to go through, so you actually can make a comment on each thing and actually said that you are working on all these and we need to look them through. And if we are going to that task, so I actually can say what I want with it, then you can see here we have the child issue, also called subtask. You can also see with the symbol out here there is a multiple task underneath it. Then you can both set, the main task will of course be also to do, but you can also set the subtask as you are working on it and we need to look it through. So set it to review when you are done with it and then we will look it through and set it to done. Underneath the subjects when you're working on it, and if you have questions we need to go through on the meeting when we're going through the task you have done, then you can set a comment at the bottom inside the task. The same if it's a problem underneath a subtask and you want to sort it a little bit more out, then you can also go under the subtask and make a comment in here. Now we'll just go back to the big one again. And then it will open again. And you can see everything again. So yeah, it doesn't matter with this description unless you need to say what it's about, but only make a comment if you want us to look through something or you are a little bit confused if it's actually the right way you made the task. If you want to make a task yourself, you can see I have put everything into its example. Everything with header when we're working on hand in one is having a letter out with hand in one. Or if it's for a group meeting or something we need to take up on the group meeting, then it's example week 7 because it's from for week 7. Example this one is make the agenda to next time. This one, when you are making a task and you have something for a specific week or to a, now we'll just take hand in 4 as an example, and make a task for that one. We will just go out and figure out which week it's for. It's week 9. So right now I'm under week 9 and I'm pushing the button so I know the task will actually get with this one when I'm typing it in. Then because it's a task I want to make, because it's something thing we need to make as a homework, and this is just an example of some homework we're making as a task. And then you're typing enter. And then you have a added task. You can of course add some persons out here and so on. Right now I'll just delete the task because it was not something we need. Oh yeah, and to get back to see everything, just push it again and then everything will revert to the same. You can also push multiple of them if you want that. But that is an example of making some task and you're shifting between the different one you're making out here. Right now it's set to task, you can set it to story and box also. Yeah, if you have more questions about it, because it was only actually making the comment and setting it to in progress and into a review, that was the important part that you need to know. This was a short introduction to Jira, and still we will not use the board, only the backlog and the roadmap. See you next time.